Hello, Josh and...
Hi, peoples! It's me, Clarissa, again. I guess you guys wanted my own TV show, so here I am.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm going to introduce a new segment, spin-off of Creepypasta, for Creepypasta Theories, where we take a look at TV show theories like maybe Ed and Eddie, Rugrats, Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Hey, Arnold!
Yeah, that. And in the end, we debate them. So, here we go with our first one, the Rugrats theory.
Yeah, I love Rugrats!
Anyway, there are two versions to this one. One's original version, which she will read.
Yes, I love the original.
And a tweaked version, which I will read.
It's very long. I like mine.
Yeah. Alright, here's your story.
Rugrats were really a figment of Angelica's demonic, unimaginable imagination. Chucky died in 1986 along with his mother. That's why Travis is a nervous wreck all the time. Tommy was born in 1988, but he was a stillborn. That's why Stu is constantly in the basement making toys for his son, who never had a chance to live. The DeVilles had an abortion in 1990. Angelica couldn't figure whether it would be a boy or girl, thus creating the twins. As for all grown up, the teenage Angelica became addicted to various narcotics, which further aggravated her schizophrenia, bringing her back to her childhood and thus her creations she obsessed over. Because of the time lapse between the present and the last time she interacted with her creations, she made them older. Angelica was constantly taking hits of acid, so she would never have to live without her creations, who were her only company in judgmental world. Angelica's mom actually died of heroin overdose in 1982, just after Angelica was born. And Drew, in his depression, married a gold-digging whore that Angelica idolized because she fooled herself into thinking it was her real mom, but always had a concept of her mom, Cynthia, and took a Barbie doll and made it after her mom's image, wearing an unwashed orange dress and having jacked up hair, which is why she was so attached to it. Later in life, she followed in her mom's footsteps with drugs and everything, dying overdose at age 13 when All Grown Up was canceled. The only Rugrat not to be fictional, however, was unborn Tommy's brother, Dill. However, Angelica didn't know the difference between Dill and her creations. Although Dill didn't follow her commands, after endless crying and refusal to disappear like the others did, when Angelica was angry with them, she hit him. Due to this, he sustained a brain hemorrhage, which resulted in deformation. As he grew up, his damage only became more evident, and by the time he was 9 and all grown up, he lived as an outcast, being ridiculed for his weirdness and retardation. The immense guilt over this is what led Angelica to her drug use, and that's what led to Angelica create the Rugrats briefly until her experience with hallucinogens. On a trip to Paris to find love, Chaz married a woman named Kira. He was actually going to marry a different woman named Coco, but she just wanted him for his money, who had a daughter named Kimmy that was torn from her because she was a cocaine addict. Angelica imagined her from Kira's stories. He lost his mind after the death of his wife and was in denial that she was ever a prostitute. Upon return to America, Chaz and Kira married and she got her green card. It was actually a really happy and romantic story. Kira continued struggle with an addiction, but was relatively happy with her life and Chaz. Susie was actually Angelica's only friend who entertained the thought of Angelica's creation. For her sake, Angelica spent the last days of her life in the back of the school cafeteria, imagining friends around her and playing with the lives of her creations.
The Rugrats really were a figment of Angelica's imagination. Chucky died a long time ago along with his mother. That's why Chaz is a nervous wreck all the time. Tommy was a stillborn. That's why Stu is constantly in the basement making toys for the son who never had a chance to live. The DeVilles had an abortion. Angelica couldn't figure out whether it was a boy or a girl, thus creating the twins. As for All Grown Up, Angelica was a bipolar schizophrenic who, as a teenager, became addicted to various narcotics, bringing her back to her childhood, thus creating a world in her mind that she obsessed over. Because of the time lapse between the present and the last time she interacted with her imaginary world, she made them older. Angelica was constantly taking hits of acid so she would never have to live without her creations. To her, her creations were her only company in a judgmental world. Angelica's mom actually died of a heroin overdose. Angelica was schizophrenic and bipolar because she was a crack baby. Additionally, Drew, in his depression, married a gold-digging whore that Angelica idolized because she fooled herself into thinking it was her real mom. However, she always had a concept of her mom, Cynthia. She used a Barbie doll to mirror her birth mother's images, wearing an unwashed dress and jacked up hair, which is why she was always attached to it. Later in life, she followed her mother's footsteps, dying of an overdose at age 13 when All Grown Up was cancelled. The only Rugrat to not be fictional, however, was unborn Tommy's brother, Dill. However, Angelica didn't know the difference between Dill and her creations. Dill didn't follow her commands, and after endless crying and a refusal to disappear like the others did when Angelica was angry with them, she hit him. After she hit him, he screamed in a screeching tune, and Stu ran in and pulled his niece off his only child, but it was too late. Dill had a brain hemorrhage, which resulted in deformation. As he grew up, his damage became more evident, and by the time he was 9 and all grown up, he lived as an outcast, being ridiculed for his weirdness and retardation. The immense guilt over this is what caused Angelica to start using drugs and to uncreate the Rugrats briefly, under her experience with hallucinogens. Chaz lost his mind after the death of his first wife and was in denial that she was ever a prostitute. On a trip to Paris to find love, Chaz fell in love with a hooker named Kira. He was originally going to be married to a different hooker, but she just wanted him for his money. Kira once had a daughter named Kimmy, but the baby was torn from her by law due to her cocaine addiction. Angelica imagined Kimmy from Kira's stories. Upon return to America, Chaz and Kira married and she got her green card. It was a surprisingly happy and romantic story. Kira continually struggled with addiction, but was relatively happy with her new life with Chaz. Susie was Angelica's only friend, who entertained the thought of Angelica's creations because they seemed to make her happy. She later became a psychologist and teamed up with Nickelodeon to make the Rugrats. When Angelica died of the overdose, Susie helped arrange her funeral. Because her addictions and her mental state, Angelica was expelled from society, which led to a break with reality and her eventual death. She spent the last days of her life in the back of a school cafeteria, imagining friends around her and playing with the lives of her creations. That was the Rugrats theory, and, like all theories, they must be debated. So, what'd you think of this?
I absolutely love this creepypasta, and all the creepypastas I have seen, this one is absolutely my favorite because it makes you think, and I love to think. That's why I can tell from Angelica's point of view how she sees this throughout the whole TV series. That's why I like this one.
I didn't care much for this one. I didn't think it was believable at all. Because my argument for this one is, why are there some episodes where Susie is interacting with the babies, but Angelica isn't there? So, what do you think on that?
Well, to spoil your moment, brother, she was actually there. You just never saw it. the reason why she was there is because she was seeing it from Susie's point of view, how she interacts with the babies. That's why Angelica was always standing back so she doesn't have an argument with her. That's why she was always agreeing with what Susie does for the babies. That's why that's how come she was never popular. It's because she was always popular to the babies and Susie. That's why she always acts spoiled rotten so she could find another way to be popular. That's why she knows why these people never see these kids. It's because that's why she always tries to be spoiled rotten to them. And so on and so on. And that's why she always has her another friend, Harold, throughout the series, because he was also going along with Angelica because he absolutely really liked her. As you can tell, throughout their whole entire childhood, he always wanted to be there with her and always wanted to see how she interacts. And that's why he absolutely loved her.
Okay, then. But there were some episodes I thought that he didn't even meet the babies. Then.
That's where you're wrong again!
Ow.
He was actually there! Because one of the episodes where Angelica
Was in preschool.
And she and all of a sudden Harold went up to her one day and said, "Hey, we're gonna have a play date together." And so when she came home, that's when she saw the babies. Well, she already knew that the babies were coming over, but then she also didn't want to have the babies there, and she didn't want to have Harold there. That's why she told Harold, "Hey, these are the babies. I want you to take care of them because I don't want to be around them, and I have to be good for a whole hour or so I could get this new toy for Cynthia." That's why Harold met the babies right there, and there you go. And there's actually an episode. You can look it up on Wikipedia, whatever, but there's proof.
Okay, then. Well, that still does not excuse me from disliking this pasta. So I will be a bit generous. I'm gonna give this one a C, for at least citing some sources, but it could use a little bit more tweaking to it.
I'm giving this an A or B, and the reason why is that because it does make you think, and I absolutely love the TV show, and I just love how the whole series is. That's why I give it an A and B, because I just love how the story makes you think, and even though it's sad, it could happen to any one of us, and so yeah.
Okay then, well, we'll see you guys next time. If you liked the way how we handled this, comment below or like the video. It don't matter.
Thumbs up for bitterness!
Alright, well, we'll see you next time.
Thumbs up if you love Rugrats! Team Rugrats! Team Rugrats!
Bye. Now get out of my room!
I'm out of here. Remember, give it a thumbs up like Facebook.
Out! Bye.